Morning, Kilmer community. Today is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. Our core values are respect, responsibility, and empathy. We continue working on responsibility and the SEL strategy of to cooperate. So, since being back from break, how are you showing responsibility at school or perhaps even at home? And then, how are you cooperating with your classmates, working on projects during discussions, or even with siblings, perhaps, like maybe clearing the dishes after dinner, or sweeping the floor and helping out around the house? So, obviously, you can send your examples our way. Today, Playworks, Coach Jonah from Playworks will be offering virtual recess for kindergartners through fifth grade. Please make sure you check your Seesaw site for the link to help you access that. We continue discussing influential African Americans in American history. And so we continue the discussion looking at this young lady, Bessie Coleman. Now, born in 1892, quite a bit ago, she was born and raised in Texas to an African American mother and a Native American father. Growing up, she loved reading and she loved math. She was able to go to school. Now, her parents were sharecroppers, so during cotton harvest season, African American children were not allowed to go to school. They had to harvest the cotton, yet she somehow was able to complete 8 years of school. Early on, she decided she wanted to go to college, and she worked 4 full years, saving up enough money to begin college. Unfortunately, that money only lasted for a year of college. At which point, she decided to, when she was 23 years old, she decided that she was going to move up to Chicago, go north to Chicago, where her brother and sister in law and his wife lived. There, she got a job as a manicurist, but she really wanted to have something more. One of her friends let her know that she could go to France and study to be a pilot, and this was something she was interested in. So after work, she would study the French language, and she ended up getting a job managing a restaurant. And through this, she was able to save her money, and with the help of some of her friends, she took a ship and went to France. So that was in 1920. She went to France on a ship and she learned to be a pilot at the Caudron Brothers School of Aviation. I should show you a picture of her. You've been wondering about this, right? Here she is, Bessie Coleman. Um, and in 1921, she became the first female African American pilot ever to hold an international pilot license. She came back to the United States and she worked as a barnstormer. That's an interesting word. But a barnstormer is a pilot who performs tricks and stunts in her airplane, being watched by an audience from down below. So I don't know if you've ever seen that, looking up in the sky when planes have done like figure eights, etc. So she would do loops and figure eights and other patterns in the sky. She performed in the United States and also in Europe. In the 1920s, much of the United States was still practicing racial segregation, and she refused to perform at places that did not let African Americans watch the performance equally. She is remembered for one show in Texas where she refused to perform unless the showrunners let everyone in the audience enter through the same gate instead of making one gate for white people and one gate for black people. She also taught flying lessons and encouraged women to learn to be pilots. Here's a picture of her in front of her airplane right here. She had a goal of opening up an aviation school and basically where she could teach black students on how to become pilots. However, in April of 1926, Coleman and her mechanic, William, were practicing for a performance later on that day. And unfortunately, due to a mechanical malfunctioning, both of them lost their lives during that time. The mechanic was was flying a plane. She was 34 years old, so she was pretty young. She is remembered again for being the first female African American um, pilot ever to hold an international pilot license, and for fighting discrimination to follow her dream of becoming a pilot. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll feature another one on Thursday. And then on that note, I do have a few jokes. I have some jokes that were sent to me from Rasheen, who's in Mr. Kernan's grade 3 class, and Tomas, who is in Miss Perro's first grade class. They are siblings. So here's to start the first one. What is a mouse's favorite type of shoes? You ready for this one? A squeaker. That's a cute one. Why is Cinderella bad at soccer? I know some of you play soccer, but why do you think she's bad at it? Because she's always running away from the ball. Now, that's not going to work as a soccer player. Here's a good one. Why are fish so smart? I bet some of you know this one, right? Well, why are you guys all so smart? Because they live in schools. Ooh, clever, clever, clever. And then finally, what type of key opens a banana? This is cute. What kind of key opens a banana? A monkey. 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 You get a key? Oh, goodness. Thank you, Rasheen and Tomas, for those jokes. Again, students, always feel free to send them my way. I want to feature them. And on that note, always be your best you and make today and every day a great day. I will see you next time.